The Light Renegades, my name is Star. Thank you so much for joining me today, everyone. Wow, I feel like I don't know how I'm going to share what I have to share with you all today, because I know that this might cause quite an explosive expression from some, and I've had quite the weekend, everyone, is what I want to share. And it started on Thursday, and on Thursday I went through an expression that I just was not prepared for. And I want to say in plain and simple terms that I heard the voice of God. And this is, I want to say, not the first time that I've heard it, but to the degree that I did hear it, it was completely shattering. It was completely halting in my space. And I'm going to share an expression in the community tab for you all to partake in. This is a channel that I was guided to, which very much took me to very similar expressions that I feel like I've gone through on this path of awakening, specifically into an expression of galactic expression and unity consciousness. So I was guided to watch the videos from this soul's expression and read the 2 articles from them. And I want to say that their expression is very much in tandem and very close to some expressions that I've been in with the Light Renegades. And you've all seen me, those that have been here for the longest time, kind of explain that I've been in multiple spaces, kind of doing bits here, there, and everywhere for different expressions, different vibrations. And I've shared the latest GA message connected to timeline expressions and wars specifically. And I've been in very cognizant awareness of that I'm in multiple spaces and times all at the exact same time. You're going to have to bear with me, everyone, because there's still a lot of energy coursing through me. And what I want to share is that I was not prepared for the voice of God to come to me and the way that it did. And how it came to me, it was really late at night. I was alone. And the expression stepped forward of, it was silent. It was very silent, like eerily silent. And I'd had a lot of energy coursing through me through the entirety of that day. But it was a silent time, and I was just about to go to bed. And something stopped me, and I felt all the hairs on my body stand up, and I felt this utter silence, but also this vibration of everything all at once. And this voice came through, and it said, "I'm your father." And I just completely bolted still. And I thought, this is it. This is what I've been seeking for the entirety of my life. This is what I've been asking for. Those that have been watching the channel for some time, you know that I went through Catholic schooling. Although I wasn't Catholic, it was just the best school that my parents decided to send me to. They aren't Catholic either. Half my side's Christian, so I have to just trust that it was all part of the expression of why I'm here, and all the things that I've been doing over the Light Renegades. I've been in a lot of religious spaces, so it makes sense to me. And I thought, I've been asking to speak to God over the past few months. I've been asking to speak to God. I came to an expression that just snapped me in two in terms of my consciousness. And this is very much an expression that the soul that I'm going to share in the community tab speaks about. And I feel like I hit that same expression too. And I just didn't realize it, that I come to the snapping point of my consciousness. But this has been with purpose. And this is very much in tandem with understanding that there are forces out there that I just had no idea about. And there are forces out there that are in control of this realm far more and in depth to a degree than I am possibly in control of. And this voice came through and said that I'm your father. And I thought that's interesting. And obviously my first answer was, so who are you? And they simply said to me, I want to be the father to you that you never have. So for those that have been here for the longest time with the Light Renegades, I created a whole previous channel which is titled The Darkness and Getting to Know the Darkness, which is where I stepped into an expression of Luciferian energy, where I stepped into an expression of Lucifer, because at some point in my journey I pledged allegiance to that force, and that they were considered to be a fatherly presence in my expression, and that was right for me at that time. But as the time's gone on over with the Light Renegades, I've been communing in the light and dark to such a degree where I realized that I was ever stepping forward closer to the light. So Lucifer is still with me. They are still an expression that I commune with from time to time. I work with them and other people in other spaces, and they are a neutral expression, at least over here on the Light Renegades. And I know that that might split the crowd for some. And I know that some perhaps aren't going to believe what I have to share today, and that's okay. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm just simply sharing what happened to me. So I'd gone through an expression of having a lot of energy stepping towards me. I'd only had some cacao that day, but I was in a very fluid state of just receiving a lot of information, and I was letting go and shedding of a lot of previous aspects. I felt like I was dipping from all aspects of space and time, this reality, other realities, and just letting go of a lot of pain. And that night, on the Thursday night, this voice stepped forward and said to me, I am your father, and I wish to be the father that you've never had. And I was beyond tears at this point, because I think I was in shock. And I stepped upstairs and I sat on the edge of my bed and I thought, this is it. This is what I've been asking for. I've come to the point in my journey that I feel like I was always going to be stepping into. And what happened next was something that I knew to be true. So this is where it's going to split the crowd, because everyone here, well, some here at least that come from strict doctrine are going to be pleased, that they heard the words, I am your father. And I want to say that, this energy didn't step forward in a masculine sense, but it did in a way, because it felt like the most authoritative voice I've ever heard in my life. Above all the angels, above any galactic spaces. It was so beyond any galactic space that I've ever experienced. And I thought, okay, this is a commanding voice, no matter where it's coming from. So it makes sense to align it with a masculine energy, because it feels like it's not even forceful though. This is why it's so hard to put into words, because it's not forceful. It is just ever present, and it's just holding. And I guess it is the most highest vibrational energy of the divine masculine. I did a workshop connected to divine masculine and divine feminine energy, and I said the divine masculine is stepping forward in a very different space than I've ever communicated with it before. And I said it's almost like a container, and that's what it felt like. It felt like this energy was here just to support me, and not to move me in one direction over the other, but just to support me in my space. And they stepped forward with an expression after that, which I knew in my heart to be my truth. And they then said to me, however you want to perceive me, I'm willing to be that for you. And I thought, this is what I've been searching for. This is the answer that I felt in my heart to be true. Because whenever I prayed, whenever I was in, my Catholic schooling, from primary school to secondary school, from younger school to high school, to those that might be in America, I knew that there was an expression of this voice of God is not just one man. I knew that it wasn't a man, at least for me. And this expression to me at least helped me to understand and see that I wasn't wrong in my expression, neither is anybody else. But the way that you commune with this energy that you want to preface as God is going to be whatever is best for you. This is why there is no one answer. And I knew this to be true. And I'm not sharing something that others haven't shared before, but it happened to me. This has been my experience. This has been the entirety of my life that I've been asking for this answer. And I knew it in my heart to be my truth, but I just didn't have that full understanding anywhere. And I had it over the resurrection weekend, and I was like, phew, absolutely mind blown at this expression. And I'm going to show something because it's really important to the story. So 1 second. And if I didn't need any more confirmation in my space of all of this, is that someone wasn't in awareness that I had this experience. And they came and knocked on my door, and they went away, and they came back again with something for me, and they gave me this cross. And I thought, wow, if I ever needed confirmation in my space that what I was experiencing has definitely been the hand and the voice of God somewhere, that was the expression for me. And I thought, wow, like this is it. This is the expression. This is me stepping forward into this Christ consciousness. And since that time, everyone, I've been given so many downloads. I've been given so many spaces of expression. I can see ever more clear. I can see, I can hear, I can understand. I can sit into the seat of soul and expression like never before. And I just didn't see this coming. I felt it, and I knew it to be true in my heart somewhere. For the entirety of my life, I've been seeking this expression, and God stepped towards me, and they said to me, I will be whatever you want me to be. And that just floored me. That was when the tears came. That was when the expression of, I knew it. I knew this to be my truth. I knew this to be right. And, however God shares themselves with you is your truth and your divine right passage too. This is why that no one is wrong. This is why there doesn't need to be any wars about who is right, because you're always in the expression that is for you. But I am just completely in awe right now of this expression, of this path, of this journey. And I thought, this is it. This is the moment that I've been waiting for the entirety of my life. I was asking to understand the truths of this world and the alls of this world. And I've been given it over Easter weekend. Not lost on me. I know that I'm in direct alignment for something somewhere, as are all of you. So please, let's stop fighting each other. I realize that there is not going to be one answer for moving forward. You just have to know what is your answer for moving forward. And I'm grateful to be in this space. I knew that I was always right. I sat and I spoke to them and I said, have I been wrong in this path in any way? And they said, no, you were supposed to be where you were supposed to be at any given time. You can be communing with whatever you want to be communing with at any given time, but know that you are here for very specific reasons in some realms, and you are playing out those times. And I knew in my heart that I was a servant of this expression. I knew in my heart that I was here for the lightest of expression, and some just couldn't see it. And I've been in the darkest spaces for the longest time. And I knew I was fighting for something, and I was just been fighting for my freedom. I've been fighting for my truth in this space, and I have it. I have it here. I understand it. I see it so clearly, and I'm just grateful. And it makes me so emotional, everyone, because this is what I've been seeking the entirety of my life, is this understanding. And at so many points on this journey, people were just telling me that I was wrong, that I was just delusional somewhere. And I knew that wasn't the truth. Sorry, everyone. And I wasn't going to be able to get through this video without crying. But I'm just grateful that I get to be in this space of knowing. And so many of you all know too. And I want to say, let's just stop fighting each other for who was right and who was wrong. I know the vibrations of what is here for unity consciousness. I know who was here for the vibrations of the lightest of light. And I promise you, sometimes the lightest of light looks like this to some. And that is their expression of the light. And they are not wrong either. No one is wrong. I sat with the voice of God, and they said to me, no matter where someone is, they are always being guided to the lightest expression at all times. What they choose to do with that is then up to them. So we have to stop fighting each other. There are realms and spaces in time where I am fighting this expression from my lowerly consciousness of being a galactic expression. But I promise you, my heart and my soul is up there in the stratosphere, and I always knew this to be true. I knew somewhere there was this force that has been guiding me this whole entire time. And when it was the darkest of expression for me, there was just a light in my soul that knew to just keep going. And I've hit that point of understanding what that means. I know what it means now. I know what it means to be here. I know what it means to live. And I'm just grateful. And I wish and I hope that everyone gets to this expression. And I don't even want to say as quickly as possible, because it comes when it's the right time for you. And however that moment looks for you, that's your truth, and that's okay. And however that expression steps towards you, that's okay. And so many expressions I've just been told what to be, and I knew that wherever I was supposed to be exactly what I was supposed to be at that present given time. And so many downloads were given to me, and I've had these expressions time and time again, is that God doesn't seek those that are of the highest vibration. He seeks those that are ready to speak the truth and to stick up for what is considered to be divine right in this world. And that's what I felt like I've been doing this entirety of this time. Sometimes I've had to be the villain. Sometimes I've had to be the bad guy. Sometimes I've had to be the darkness in someone else's light. And I understand it now. I was sent in those spaces to share the true divine light that does exist. And I know that it walks through me. It's been guiding me this whole entirety of this time. And for everyone that is here on the Light Renegades, you are pulled by this force too. But I wasn't prepared for this expression. I wasn't prepared for what happened over the weekend. And, I want to say this is not something new. This is not radical information. So many others have gone through this expression, but it was like having an ayahuasca trip. I haven't done ayahuasca, but that's all I can liken it to. It was like having an ayahuasca trip without all the visuals, but feeling all the vibrations. And then I heard the voice of God. That's the only way that I can make this make sense to some. And there are no words for it that you can see me. There was no words, but I knew that I was going to be given the grace of, it doesn't have to be a man. God doesn't have to be a man. Inside whatever you want it to be there, and that is your truth, and that's okay for you. That's the message. That's the message of this message. Whatever that looks like to you, that's okay. And I think that that's all I can possibly get through today, everyone. There will be more on this for me to come. If you have questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. I will try and answer them, but I'm definitely still in a days and a phase of still trying to understand this. And, I've been communing with angels for a long time. I've been communing in these spaces for a real long time. It's been 5 years on this path, but the degree that I felt everything this weekend just brought me to my knees. And I've been brought to my knees so many times in this expression, but this is like something else that I just cannot put into words. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be able to receive and commune in these spaces. And, you know, at any given moment, this level of consciousness I know can be taken away from me. So this is about making sure that any given time you are in check with your emotions, you're in check with your integrity, you're in check with your ego, you're in check with your intuition. And this takes constant refining and constant battle. And for the longest time, I just thought, have I done something wrong? There were so many spaces that I've been in where I just felt like I was fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting, and I had to be there. And then the minute that I said, I feel like I'm done, this is when it came through for me. And this is what's going to happen for so many. I'm just reaching this path just before so many others step forward in this expression so that we can all commune in these spaces together. It's not lost on me that I received this information. And then in tandem, the expression from the Galactic Alliance about expanding consciousness to new parallel expressions of the highest vibration of, I guess, galactic spaces, off-planet communication, different vibrational expressions for us to be creating new worlds in. I thought, this is all it. This is just this Christ consciousness. This is just this divine light that we've all been seeking, and whichever way that looks to you is fine. You will find the answers for you wherever you are in your expression. You're not wrong, I promise you. But God isn't a man. God is whatever you want it to be. And I found my truth, and I'm grateful. And I was given an out. I was given an out to go to church and to see and receive God as one man. And I just couldn't do that. And I felt like I was fighting something. I thought, am I just being a stickler? Am I just trying to fight something? Am I truly, you know, in the dark and just can't see? But I knew that that wasn't my truth. I knew it in my heart to be true. And I'm grateful. I know that this has come at the time when it's supposed to have come, but I couldn't ignore it. I was like, the lineup of this weekend, you know, I've officially been resurrected into a space that I knew always existed, but just in a way that I just didn't think that I was going to be able to. And I've just been accepted as me. And God stepped forward and said, I'll be whatever you need me to be. And I'm here for you. And thank you for doing my work. And it just broke me. It broke me. I'm grateful. I just wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared. And like, these are happy tears. But it's been a long time coming. A long time coming. But I think that best be all for me today. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I will be with you all again when I have more to share in a more cohesive way. But right now I'm still just processing. But thank you all for being here. Thank you for witnessing. And yeah, I'll be back real soon. Take care.